Mike, I gotta start out with saying, with 2 albums, 4 #1 or 4 top 10 singles, and I'm pleased to be here with, I could probably say, one of the most successful bands of our time. I'm here with Paul, Alex from Franz Ferdinand.
Hello.
Hello.
You all right?
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
I gotta start up with making you a little jealous. I was here last night and I saw Primal Scream, and they're also from Glasgow, Scotland. A fantastic show. How do you like those?
Hey, I love Primal Scream records. I remember Screamadelica coming out. Yeah, revolutionary record. It was
Definitely,
very good.
Definitely. What are the bands that you're influenced by?
From Glasgow? Or from everywhere?
Or from everywhere in general?
ESG, you know ESG? I think they had a big influence on us, didn't they? I'd say it's funny listening to reggae in the background. I'd say a lot of stuff like Dr. Alimantado and Junior Mervyn and that sort of stuff had a bit of an impact. Yeah.
Roy.
Yeah, it was nice. We saw a Massive Attack the other day, and what's his name? Singer.
Horace Andy.
Horace Andy was singing with him, and that was really cool.
So I could say a lot of different genres.
Yeah. I mean, like sort of like classic songwriters as well, like the Buzzcocks or the Kinks or the Smiths, those sort of bands as well.
Definitely.
But yeah, we always were into the sort of classic British songwriting approach with a bit of the dance music approach as well, and a bit of rock and roll as well.
Of course.
Howlin' Wolf.
It's always funny to find when people need to put different artists and different music into boxes.
Yeah.
And it's funny with following you, and it seems a lot of papers and different medias are writing garage rock, post-punk. How would you describe your own style? If you...
you know, all those genres get on my tits. They don't really annoy me. Like I think
exactly.
Post-punk's such a stupid fucking description. Like everything after punk is post-punk.
That's why I wanted to ask you. Yeah, exactly.
The one that really annoys me is art rock, though, as well. Like, what the fuck is that?
I think
they're all these things that we never claimed to be ourselves as well.
It's annoying if you're in a band and somebody's sort of putting those tags on you. Makes it easier getting your way around a record store. But that's about all I can say for it, really. That's what it's for. It's not for...
The only genre I'd give ourselves would be pop music. I mean, all my favourite bands are pop bands. I'd say Primal Scream are a pop band. Loaded is a brilliant pop single. They probably wouldn't call themselves a pop band, but...
no, they'd think they were a rock band.
Yeah. But I think all good rock bands are pop bands anyway.
But you mentioned art rock, but you sort of, the way it feels, you're like the latest in the art rock lineup. I mean, there was... And it doesn't feel bad. I mean, the Beatles, Rolling Stones, The Who, and now Franz Ferdinand.
Yeah, I mean, they're all great groups, you know, and there is always, I think all bands, all good groups have a strong visual identity as well, you know, like it's a great thing to sit with your favourite LP cover and look at it while you're listening to the music, and the same with the video as well. All your identity comes through that. It's fine.
But that was sort of the vibe when you started the group as well, and the whole sort of art rock school vibe, when you met up with Robert and you started making music.
The social scene that we hung about in Glasgow, there was a lot of artists and musicians would hang about together. So a lot of our first gigs, you'd find that artists exhibitions exhibiting their work. And
it just happened to be sort of where we're coming from. It's like, if we don't went to veterinary college, you wouldn't call it vet rock. It's just, I mean, I guess there's similar approaches to the way sort of... people go to art school to exchange ideas and to sort of meet other people, and they're not afraid to sort of share their ideas as well, and I think that's a good sort of background for us.
It's funny as well, I was reading the other day, the Chemical Brothers both studied history, but nobody calls them history rock, do they?
Definitely. But I mean, that's sort of the vibe. Was it a big difference for you? I mean, was it something you could bounce back on? How does that whole time feel?
I think the approach of a lot of our friends who are artists is very inspiring to us, because, you know, they've probably got the most laid-back approach to being countercultural. Do you know what I mean? Like they have a truly subversive approach to their work without being an in-your-face pain in the arse. You know what I mean? Because like often when bands do it, they think like, okay, if I'm going to be countercultural here, then I need to have a fight with somebody, which isn't necessarily the case.
Yeah. And also, you brought that sort of vibe of the whole art into your videos. I mean, you had the best breakthrough video, for example, at the MTV Awards, and also with making videos. How much input do you have in your actual work?
Usually we put together the ideas for our videos and find a director who's sympathetic, and usually work with the director, and And sometimes we get on fantastic as well, like say Diane Martel, who did the Do You Wonder video. It was a wonderful collaboration, like exchange of ideas. And it is exciting, you know, the way that bands have this 3 minutes or 3.5 minutes or whatever of blank canvas, blank video canvas. You can do what you want with it, and yeah, I think more bands should embrace that and do something more exciting.
And occasionally you and Paul get to do a little dancing as well.
A little dancing? Hey, yeah, occasionally.
If you could call it that.
Yeah.
It's more like a sort of spasm in the form of...
So it's squirting in water. What the heck was that? Anyhow, all right. Getting back to one of the most fascinating things.
Who's that? Hold on.
We'll go check him out. Sorry for that, you right?
That's alright.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of weirdos in this area, man.
It's
Should be the media village.
He's not a weirdo, he's a fucking wido.
Oh, man.
Fucking prick, man.
Alright. Let's get back to it. Sorry, man.
Let's go back.
Yeah, one of the most fascinating facts is that you actually, when you record songs, you play all together, not sections apart.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's at the heart of any good rock and roll band. You know, it's the personalities in the band. It's not even the way you write the music. It's the way you all play together. It's a combination of those personalities. It's the group dynamic that makes it something special, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Yeah. He's all shocked up with the whole water pistol thing.
Yeah.
But and this also, as you sort of play live when you're recording, it means obviously it's so much easier to play the tracks live as well. Am I correct?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the live shows everything. Like, live shows everything. Like, that's where a band really gets this identity from. I think that's where people really get to know the band as well. I think you're only aware of half of a band's identity if you listen to the records. It's really when you go to a live show that it properly makes sense. I mean, you must have found out with bands before where you've heard their records, kind of like, oh, I don't know, I kind of like the sound of it. Then you go and see them live, and it's like, all right, that really makes sense.
Yeah, there's a lot of live shows that can really change your whole. I mean, it could turn out that a record could be great, and if the show is not, then it crumbles down.
Yeah.
But how do you like playing? You like playing in huge tents or smaller clubs, or vice versa?
It's good to do different ones, isn't it? I love the atmosphere you get at a big festival like this. You know, everybody's pretty laid back, and there's a good atmosphere. I mean, like you know, wandering about here, Roskilde, it's great. It's very laid back, and but then I do love the intimacy of a small gig as well. You know, when you've got the audience right in front of it, you can literally reach out and touch them. It's a very special experience.
Definitely. Let's take a moment to talk about not the new album. October 2005 was released, and the funny fact about it is that a record like that, I mean, a lot of people, especially your fans as well, was really into it. A lot of people, but then the funny fact was that two of the biggest rappers got really into it. Kanye West was like, yeah, that's my favorite album, and then Snoop Dogg comes out. How did that feel about?
That's really lovely. You know, it's great as well to see that people are listening to music outside their own genres. You know what I mean? It's true for us as well. We don't listen to only white rock and roll bands. You know, like of course we listen to a lot of what's going on in the hip hop and R&B scene, and yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's very touching, like because those guys have got I mean, they create wonderful dance music as well, and that's what we're all about. We wanted to make dance music too, so getting a nod from those guys, that was pretty cool.